So in this recording I'm going to show you how text to speech system work and what all options are available. So by far I've came across three text to speech packages from Python. So one was pyttsx, so I think it's support 2.7. There was another which is gttsx, that is another one, and then there is another one which is google underscore speech, and this is the one we're going to use it. So what exact different I find out in all these three is the above two, so one and second, they work like let's go to some text editor. So yeah, for example, I say my name is Shivam Sharma. I am 26 years old. This is a dummy sentence. Let us try running this code. And I'm really bad at making sentences. It's just, this is all that came in my mind. So these are four sentences. Coming back to the topic, so these are four sentences, and if I talk about the above two, which is pyttsx or gttsx, these two I'm not even sure with the term. I think these are the packages, two others which are available. So these two work like they're gonna pick the entire sentence, this whole sentence irrespective of the full stop. So there are basically four sentences, but they're going to consider them as a one sentence. And the problem there is they're going to convert this into an mp3, and then they're going to play the mp3 at the back end. So point is, the longer the sentence goes, the longer it will take to create mp3 and to play. So there is a lot of delay. So now if we segment this into two types of delay: A, the text string is too long, and B, if I copy and I have another string after this to speak, then it's like they're going to play this one first, and then they're going to wait to take this one, then they're going to convert this one into mp3 and then play. It's just like one by one step. Okay, so for above these two work like that. But in case of google underscore speech, or you can simply say google speech, what it does is they're going to take the first sentence, no problem there. They're going to take the first sentence A. On B, they're going to convert this entire sentence into an mp3, and on C, they're going to play it. But during the step B, they look for the next sentence, that they start working to convert that into an mp3, and by the time the first sentence is played, the second sentence is already available to play. So the start will take time depending upon the length of the sentence, but if there is consecutive sentences, so that would be faster. So the speech thing between two sentences or the two different inputs is minimized as comparison to the other two packages. So this is how google underscore speech or google speech is better for us. So how to install google speech? This is the package page. What you have to do is basically sudo pip3 install google underscore speech, and I missed the P. Congratulations. If you hit enter, I already have it. I install it to save time, so there's no problem. Now the second thing which google speech option has is socks. The sock effect is basically you can make your machined type output speech system more flexible, may increase the pitch, may decrease the pitch, may increase the speed or not, or make it more real, so you can just work around with this socks description. So they have this page and it's really good. They can actually segment the data, sample size data, and then work on it. They can actually and the second part is they create the wave file and then run it. So wave file is already comparatively a better file, but mp3 is lighter, but wave file is, the audio quality is very easy to make and maintain. So it gives a static state basic output. That is better. So that is one thing. Apart from that, so you have to install socks. So for exceptionally Ubuntu user, I'm going to say apt-get and get install socks. This you need. So this is for the system, and then you're going to install for Python. So sudo pip3 install socks. Okay, so once these two are installed, so you can work on these things. You have to cross check that one. For Windows user, you may need to add another libmad dll, so you can just go ahead with this page and you can run on that. There's no problem. I have done it on Windows OS, so don't worry, it will work and there will be no problem. In Ubuntu, there is a possibility of giving you a socks warning. I am running this code at the first time. I haven't done it on machine, so I'm not sure. Maybe it will show it to me. So that warning, that's just a warning. It's not going to impact your output or create any unnecessary delay, so don't worry about that. There is an option how to fix it, but you can go ahead on that GitHub page and do it. So I'll try to paste that link in the description if you want to fix it, but I find it an unnecessary exercise, so just left it that way. So you need socks. Now coming back to those sentences, now with using Google Speech, we actually decrease the delay between the two inputs. Now how about, as we know that if the sentence is long and it will take time to get it converted into MP3, so how about you try to get the sentence or sentences out of the input, make them in a segment and then run it. So the point is, whenever we speak a sentence, so like for example, my name is Shivam Sharma, I am 26 years old. So between these two sentences there is a full stop, which means a halt, a tiny money, but there's a halt. So we can take that as an advantage to improve our text to speech system. How to do it is, we're going to jump to natural language processing toolkit, which is nltk. nltk is actually a really good tool. It by far does support the latest version for Python 3.7, which is Python 3.7, which I am using for this machine. This is the latest 19.0 Ubuntu available, which has 3.7 in it. So it gives you all the installation and everything. So point is, I think I already installed it. So let's cross check sudo pip3 install nltk. Yeah, so requirements are already satisfied for me, but if you do, it will install nltk. So now the problem is it has just downloaded the nltk. It doesn't have the data of nltk. So what do you mean by that, right? So what you have to do is basically, I'll try to do this first. So we're going to do import nltk, and then you have to do nltk dot download, and if you define all here, okay, so it does ask you for prefix data, so you have to just define nltk data. So if you give all, so it's going to download all the file and run it. So there is no harm, you can go ahead with that. But typically for this tutorial, what we need is from nltk dot tokenize, we do import, we're going to convert. So what we are looking for is basically a bunch of sentences in the one input, and we need to divide those each into a single sentence. So we're going to do for send tokenize. So we do send tokenize. Now, so this is what you want for part of nltk. So by far we minimize the delay between two inputs, and now we are working to minimize the delay between the input itself, right? So this will do that. Now we need to import speech. So from Google underscore speech import speech, speech, sorry, And another thing is we need to do import sys, because in case you want to run this file from the terminal, so you have to kind of do this. You have to just add the file path into or define the file path, and you just have to define that. Why are you coming? I don't want you. And single quote, you're just going to copy. So you have to take the project part, don't take the package part. Package is there in the folder itself, project folder. Secondly, if you do from tts custom user, you won't be able to get it because you defined this one, so this is considered as a directory and not going to help you there. So this you have to do. Now okay, there a space is needed. This is done. Okay, now once this is done, now what you want is you're going to define some sentences, 2-line gap as per the Python thing. So custom text, we're going to give the name of the method like that. We'll do this message. So why I'm doing this is to test different string available. So I'm just going to create one method and we're just going to pass a different string from the test method, and you can do it. So I like my coding this way because it makes more sense to me. If you want to go ahead with the same method, there's no problem. We're not breaking any rules there, so no problem. So we're going to do a for loop in send tokenize. So why we have to do is, what send tokenize does is, whenever we're going to pass any message to the send tokenize, it's going to split that message into sentences, and a error will be there. So we're going to put for I, and we're just going to get the value again and again and again, and then we're just going to pass it for each value of that. So send tokenize, we have to define the message here. We're going to define the message, oh my goodness, not L colon, and then we're going to print. So what I'm going to show you print is basically each sentence. Either we're going to give a big 4 to 5 sentences input, but we're going to split that into each sentence. Now we're working for a typical segment for Google speech. So first we have to define the language in double quotes. So we're going to use en, which is English. If you want any other, so the acronyms for that is mentioned on this website. You just have to go and check that, don't worry about that. So we're going to run back to this, this one. Then we're going to define lang. Now speech, so I'm going to just define a variable and pass this variable into socks effect, so that will be helpful. So speech, and we're going to define this speech is the built-in method, and what it wants is the message, and in what language we need to play it. This is done. Now I'm going to define some socks effect. So soxeff, I'm going to give you a big name there, socks effect, and we're going to define some socks effect. So let's pick speed itself, no problem, speed, and you're going to define what is the speed. So this I'll try to change. So 1 is the default one, it's a normal one, there's no problem there. But if you give some different one, so then yeah, it will be a problem. There will not be a problem, it's just going to speak differently, and we're going to play it. But what we're going to play is sock effect. Okay, so we get a sentence. The sentence will be split into the input. So we get the input, this is input, and then input will be divided into typical sentences. For each sentence it will play, print and play, print and play. This is going to happen. Okay, so we're going to define, yeah, so a text test. Okay, funny names I'm giving today, no worries. So let's do one thing, let's save time. We're going to pass the same string where we are. Yeah, so we're going to give the name str string equals to, let's pass it. So we have an input which has around 4 sentences, cool. And then what we're going to do is custom text, and what we're going to do is to pass a message which is string. So let's try to run it. Text. Okay, I am not missing anything. No. okay, print will happen there, so no problem there, right? Okay, let's try to run it. Let's hear it. What have we done? Oh, sorry, my bad. Working 3 years on Python, still cannot know how to call it function. Wow.
My name is Shivam Sharma. I am 26-year-old. This is a dummy sentence. Let us try running this code.
See? So, point is, this was a string given to it. It actually split it into each, and see the accuracy. Each one is intense. The first one doesn't make sense because it's a female voice but still saying a male name, so that is kind of weird, but no problem. Apart from that, everything was fine, right? So this is how it is. If you want to make it funny, let's put it this. I'm not sure how it's gonna work. So we just increase the speed to 5. I don't know it. So it will be funny that way. So this is all you need. So if in case, I'll try to define more on LTK, how nltk work, though there are a lot of tutorials available on YouTube itself for nltk which are quite good, so you can go ahead and watch them. But this is how basically you need to take care for these at least 2 things, and when you actually consider these 2 things, it will be a really good speed system for you to speak. Okay, so that's all, guys. See you in the next video.